Hello, and welcome to Lego Lovers with the Warren County Library. My name is Sandy Roberts, and I'm the Makerspace Coordinator for the library. I love Legos. Usually, I host Lego building programs in the Makerspace at the Southwest branch. But since things are a little different this summer, I moved my programs online instead. Now we can all play with Legos together anytime, no matter where we are. Each week, I'm featuring the works of Lego masters and talking about all the amazing ways that Legos are used for art, engineering, and more. Then, you can take part of fun challenges from home. This week, our theme is Sculpting with Legos. You may have guessed that by looking at the amazing work behind me. It's by my favorite Lego sculptor, Nathan Saway. Sculpting is all about creating 3D art, often something from the natural world, like a person, an animal, or a flower. Sculpting is what we call subtractive manufacturing. That's a fancy way of saying you start with a big block of material and break off pieces to create your shape. That's usually how folks make sculptures out of wood or stone. But there's also additive manufacturing. Traditionally, that means creating casts and molds to make metal sculptures. But today, artists are using additive techniques to redefine sculpting, using 3D printing and, of course, Legos! So, let's take a look at some of these amazing Lego sculptures and get inspired. Okay, let's learn more about Lego sculpture. The first thing we need to talk about is what's the difference between a model and a sculpture? Well, both are 3D representations of things, sometimes real, sometimes imagined. But models tend to be more realistic. They want to echo reality, echo the real world. Whereas sculptures can be more artistic and are meant to kind of convey more emotion or ideas. Both are really important. Both are really fun to make. It's really up to you which you prefer. But today we're going to explore some really amazing sculptors. Our first is Nathan Saway. He's an award-winning artist. And he has created this exhibition called The Art of the Brick that's toured the world since 2007. In fact, it's actually multiple exhibits at this point, touring all over the world at the same time. He's probably the first person to really take Lego and say, this is art. So he started very much by recreating classical works of art and things from the natural world, like this Tyrannosaurus Rex over here. Okay, that is actually the largest Lego skeleton ever created, and it's about twice the size of Nathan himself. But he also creates these really emotional sculptures of people. And of course, they're not 100% realistic, but you can look at them and get a real sense of what that person might be feeling. And he also takes Legos kind of out of the box, so to speak. Like with these flying Lego creatures. There's actually a Lego pit of lava under them. And he uses Lego to convey emotion, like with this person kind of coming out into the light. He had an entire series of these kinds of exhibits. And then sometimes, of course, they're a little more fun and colorful. Here we see different ideas being drummed up in somebody's brain, and kind of a David and Goliath kind of idea of this tiny little man on someone else's hand. So his creations are really thoughtful and really push the boundaries of what Lego can do. Okay. Sean Kenney, probably one of the more famous master Lego makers out there. He has multiple award-winning traveling exhibitions. And he's actually written 9 books. He's a dad. He loves to draw from the natural world, as you can see by the polar bears behind him. So here is one of his exhibits that he actually did for a large like garden, like museum kind of thing. And they're all sculptures that are meant to be part of nature, which is really fun. But sometimes he goes a little more abstract. Like this rhino is a white rhino, and it's called the disappearing rhino because he wanted to draw attention to this animal that was going extinct. And over here you see the polar bears. These lines are meant to represent the layers of glaciers that are so important as a habitat for our polar bears. Sometimes it's just meant to be inspiring, like with this tree and all these little pieces. These are supposed to be ideas and inspiration falling from the sky. And then he likes to play with color, taking something that's very real and making it very surreal. Last up, David Hughes. He's actually an architect that became a professional Lego artist. What I think is really funny about his story is that he had put away his Legos as a kid and didn't really think of them again until he walked into the Art of the Brick exhibit by Nathan, and it inspired him to look at Lego as an art material. And now he's a famous artist using Lego. David started with a lot of kind of pop culture movie characters that he recreated. These are some Day of the Dead skulls that he made. So he kind of took what he was seeing in the world and remade it in Legos. But what he's really well known for are his sculptures of dancers. Now, it may be hard to tell, but each of these is actually life-size. And what really stunned people is that they're not super colorful, but they really show motion and emotion. You get a real sense of what these dancers are doing. Now he's pushing those boundaries again, adding color, adding more emotion, and really expanding on what he's creating. So we've got some tips for you from the Lego Masters. Sean from New York likes to say, sculptures are more than just accurate shapes. They have to capture the essence of the original. They have to have a spark, a spirit, and a life. And we certainly saw that in his creations. David says that it makes sense to make copies of existing traditional artworks, and that can be anything from paintings to sculpture to comic books. And then put a twist on it. Make it personal. Say something beyond what others might be expecting. And lastly, this is kind of one of my favorite quotes from Nathan. Hang on to your imagination, use your creativity, and go for it, brick by brick. Okay, so those are some of our featured artists for today. And remember, if you get our newsletter, I'll have links to all their websites so you can explore even more. Wow, those were some amazing sculptures. But now, it's your turn. Think about something that you would like to recreate with Legos. It doesn't have to be as big or fancy as what we looked at today. What's important is that you make something that matters to you. Think about how you can add spark to make it art. All right, whatever you create, take a few pictures and share them. Be proud of your work. You can share your creations using the hashtag #WarrenLib so we can see all of your amazing things that you make. Of course, if you registered for Lego Lovers, you'll get an email, so you're invited to a special online classroom where you can share your work and see the work of others. Plus, I'll send you a newsletter with other fun things that you can do. Didn't register? Send me an email at sroberts@warrenlib.org and I'll make sure that you get an invite. If you don't want to be part of the classroom, that's okay too. All right, that's it for the week. I'm Sandy Roberts for the Warren County Library System, and I'm so glad you stopped by. Be sure to invite your friends to join us online so we can all build together. See you next week for more Lego fun.